Today I'm going to show you how to install a Tusk Folding Glass Windshield on your Can-Am Maverick Trail or Can-Am Maverick Sport. It's the same process for the 800s and the 1000s, and this is great for anybody in changing conditions. So number one, it's super durable. It's made from laminated safety auto glass, and on cooler days or whenever you want full protection in the front, simply run this in the up position. And if it's hot outside, you can fold it down so you have maximum airflow through the cab. Now the bracket in the front, it doubles as a light bar bracket. You also have a windshield wiper to keep it clean and a vent in the bottom. Now the install process is straightforward, so let's go ahead and get started. Now with this, we need to assemble the vent door bracket. So I'm going to start with bracket C. I'm going to set that in place. We've got the 5 smaller button head bolts. We're going to be using those button head bolts to assemble this bracket. So we're going to come through the front side of the windshield into bracket C, and we'll put the nylock nuts on the back side. And obviously we've laid out our blanket. We've got the windshield facing down, and I have a 2x4 underneath this to help keep it off the table just a little bit while we assemble this. Then we're going to take bracket A. So you can follow along in your instructions if you want, but bracket A, this bend is going to be facing bracket C. And with bracket C, if you can't tell in the video, that bend is going forwards towards the top of the windshield right there. Now with bracket A, again, 2 of these smaller button head bolts, we're going to go through the front, put the nylock nuts on the back. Then I'm going to grab bracket B. So the curve, if you have it sitting just like this, we're going to take the 5th smaller button head bolt. We're going to put it through bracket B and then through bracket A with the nylock nut touching bracket A. And all of this hardware is, we're going to leave it loose for now and then make some adjustments. After that, we're going to take the knob, we're going to put that through bracket B. We've got a friction washer in between bracket B and bracket C, and then thread that knob into bracket C. Then once all that is loosely assembled, what we're going to do is start getting everything tightened down. We'll get it to the point where we can just barely move it around, make our adjustments so the door can fully swing out and fully close, and then tighten the hardware down. Now one thing you want to remember is this pivot for bracket B. What you want to do with that bottom bolt is tighten that until the nut lightly seats. Once it does, you're going to back that off about 1/8 of a turn, and that way that joint can move freely. Now we're going to install the foam tape across the bottom edge of the inside of the windshield frame. So we're going to cut 3 different pieces. I'm going to cut these to length ahead of time. And we'll go ahead and remove the adhesive backing and stick these into place. After that, we have 3 different pieces of bulb seal. So we've got 1 longer piece that's going to go across the top and the 2 shorter pieces across the side. And if you need a tighter fit with these, you can just simply pinch these together as you install them. The next thing we're going to prep is the windshield wiper. So we've got the knob with the mount. I'm going to remove the smaller nut from the end of the knob, remove the mount, and then we've got this plug in the frame for the windshield. There's 2 tabs. I'm going to press on those, push that out. And then for the mount, I'm going to remove this nut on the end. We're going to remove a rubber grommet and a washer. So we'll stick this through the frame. We're going to put the grommet on and then the washer, followed by the nut. And we're going to use 2 17mm wrenches to tighten those nuts down. After that, we're going to prepare the wiper and wiper arm. So I'm going to remove that protective cover from the wiper. We've got 2 tabs on the wiper. We're going to press down on those, or press in on those, pop up the plastic cover, and we've got our wiper arm. That's going to go through the cover. We'll hook that onto the wiper, press the cover down, lock that in place, and then I'm going to flip this windshield over. So when I flip this over, I'm supporting it with my block of wood. I'm going to take this knob, insert this through the back side, and we're going to take the wiper arm, and right in the end right here, we've got some splines that need to line up with the splines on that knob. Once you've done that, you can reinstall that smaller nut. We're going to tighten that with a 10mm socket. Now, normally there's a plastic cover over the A-pillars. You've got 2 Torx bit screws right here that you need to pull out and then remove the plastic cover, but our machine is actually missing that piece. So the next thing we're going to do is, one side at a time, we're going to remove the A-pillar bolts. This is just a 15mm deep socket, and we're not going to reuse the A-pillar bolts, but we will reuse those nylock nuts. We're going to install our windshield mounting bracket in the bottom. There's going to be a right and left side. Now, when you install this, this is the passenger side bracket, and it's going to look like an L right there. We're going to set that in place. Then we'll go ahead and reinstall the nylock nuts. We're going to temporarily tighten this down. We will be adjusting this stuff later on. But until we make those adjustments, these bolts are going to be snug. Then we'll do the mirror image of those steps on the other side. We have a roof installed on our machine, so I'm going to take out the front mounting hardware to get this windshield installed. Next, we're going to set the upper support plate in place. I've got a couple of 2x4s holding that roof up and out of the way. And the 2 slots on top of that support plate, they're going to be facing up. There's 2 slots in the frame on those gussets right by that front roll bar. Then we're going to take our M6 by 20mm button head bolts, go through a flat washer through both of those slots, and we're going to put a flat washer and a nylock nut on the back side. At this point, you'll want a friend to help you set the windshield in place, and then we're going to take the 6 M8 by 20mm bolts, and we'll set those through the front of the windshield, and then we're going to put the nylock nuts on the back side of the mounting brackets. The next step is to adjust the windshield for optimal fitment. So that means the best fitment side to side and up and down. And to do that, you might have to loosen the A-pillar mounts as well. Move that around where you need it, and then go through and tighten down the hardware. We've got the bottom hardware tight. After that, we're going to install the knobs into this upper support bracket or the filler panel. Once the knobs are in place, we can go ahead and tighten down the top hardware. The next thing we need to do is install the standoff bracket. So we've got 2 clamps that came in the kit. We're going to remove the 2 button head bolts on that flat section of the clamps. Remove the back side of the clamp and the rubber strip. And we're not going to reuse that rubber strip. We're just going to set the clamp with the flat side facing up. We're going to leave the bolts somewhat loose for now so we can still rotate the clamp. Then we're going to take the 2 button head bolts we removed from that flat section of the clamp, and we'll reinstall them back through the standoff bracket. We're using that lower slot on each side. We're going to fold it down onto this, make our adjustments, and make sure that both knobs go into the standoff bracket, and then we can tighten all the hardware down. At this point, we're ready to install the washer and the grommet onto these knobs. We're going to do that on both of them. And then for now, I'm going to reinstall them back into the standoff plate. The next step is to verify that your windshield lines up with these nut inserts when you fold it back up into place. As long as that's the case, then you can go ahead and take the supplied drill bit that came in the kit and these 2 slots on the side of the support bracket. We're going to drill a hole right through the side into the A-pillar right there. And then we can use the self-tappers to bolt that front side down. Last, we can install the hardware on the front of the roof. If you need one of these windshields or any other accessories for your side-by-side, you can click the link in the description below. And that's it for the Tusk Folding Glass Windshield for the Can-Am Maverick Trails and Can-Am Maverick Sports. If you have any questions about this process, leave those down in the comments. And as always, subscribe to our channel for more helpful content. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.